22 years ago, when Boeing was developing its 777 aircraft, it held extensive talks with multiple airlines, including Qantas. Boeing wanted to build the perfect medium-haul aircraft, bridging the gap between its 767 and 747 planes. Ultimately, Qantas never ordered the 777, so what happened? When asked about the lost opportunity in 2014, Qantas CEO Alan Joyce said, "We just have to get on with life." The decision to skip the 777 even took Boeing by surprise. When working on the 777, Boeing consulted 8 airlines. All but Qantas went on to buy the plane. At the time, Qantas had a fleet consisting of Boeing 747s for its trans-Pacific routes, 737-400s for its domestic routes, and multiple 767s. The airline was looking to expand its international fleet, and the twin-engine 777 seemed perfect, as it would be powered by the most modern engines available and was then the most efficient long-range aircraft in the sky. Passenger capacity was around 360, fitting nicely between the existing 767s and 747s in the fleet. 777 was also flexible. While it could run on Qantas's international routes in a 3-class configuration, there was also the option to deploy the plane on some popular domestic transcontinental routes. Boeing may have thought it had a Qantas order in the bag. Instead, Qantas placed a significant order with Airbus. The year 2000 was a significant time at Qantas. Sydney was hosting the Olympics and the airline had just founded oneworld. In that time, Qantas placed an order for 12 A380s and 13 A330s. Instead of an order for 777s, it asked Boeing for 6 747-400 ERs. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. 20 years down the track, it's interesting to note then Qantas CEO Jeff Dixon's comments about the wonders of the A380. This revolutionary new aircraft offered capacity and operating savings, as well as environmental improvements. For the first 2 decades of the 21st century, Qantas's international fleet was largely comprised of the A380s, Boeing 747-400s, medium-haul A330s, and later on 787s. The Boeing 777 never wore a Qantas livery. The airline said it decided the 777 was too big for domestic routes. It was right about that, but the airline also argued the A380 was better suited to long-haul international routes. With the benefit of hindsight, the airline might have done better to choose the Boeing 777 over the A380. It's great to be able to say I wish I could get in a time machine and go back to 2000 and change the fleet order made by not the last CEO, the CEO before that, said Alan Joyce. But the reality is we have the aircraft we have. History would repeat itself. Last year, Qantas was working on the now delayed Project Sunrise, eyeing either the Airbus A350-1000 or the Boeing 777X. Once again, Boeing pushed heavily for Qantas to run with the 777X on its Project Sunrise routes. However, Qantas would pick Airbus and the A350 instead. Still, you can't entirely write off the possibility of Qantas ever flying the 777. In the 12 months since Qantas chose the A350, much has changed. International flights are at a standstill, and Project Sunrise is on hiatus. Along the way, the current Qantas CEO has made some interesting comments, noting that the environment has changed and that he's going back to both Airbus and Boeing in a year or two and asking for new proposals, reflecting the altered market conditions. So, maybe Boeing's 777 may still have a chance with Qantas after all. What do you think? Is Boeing's 777X still possible at Qantas, or will it stick with the A350? Post a comment and let us know. Did you know that we publish over 175 stories every single week on simpleflying.com? Be sure to check the link in the description for more great stories just like this. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe before you go.